Hey guys, if you haven't already, give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. This is a what if series and I'll be doing lots more like this down the road, so stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching. Hey guys, welcome to a My Hero Academia What If series part 1. Now originally I was supposed to do a what if Goku was in One Piece part 3, but I'm gonna delay that for just a tiny bit longer because I'm still finishing up the editing and finishing up the voiceover of how I want the ending, not the ending, how I wanted the series to go, because I still have a bunch of more few things to add to it and a bunch of more exciting things to add to it. So anyway, as of right now, this is the My Hero Academia What If series part 1. And the What If series is titled What If Deku Mastered One For All? And I'm going to put One For All in a level of various levels. Put it like this. So when the series first starts, Deku will inherit the One For All. So say for example, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, so I'm going to get into the series like this, but I'm not going to specifically put out a level of what he mastered. It's various levels. The highest level that he can master is 10,000%. No, not 10,000%. 10 million%. And I'll explain why. There's some characters that are going to be powered up, and there's some characters that are not going to be powered up. But I'm going to explain why in a few seconds. So, let's get into the series. So, Izuku Midoriya, you already know like the first part of the series of how he got One For All. I mean, not how he got One For All, what he did, how he wants to become a hero and all that kind of stuff. Let's put it at, I'm going to start it off as Deku starts his training. All Might praised him and said, young man, you can become a hero too. Izuku starts crying. So he says, All Might explains to him that his quirk can be transferred. But for your body to handle my quirk, you have to train in serious simulations, like in serious occasions. We have to get your fighting spirits up. We have to get your strength up. We have to get your muscle build up. We have to get you at a point to where you could sustain One For All in your body. So it's during the 10-month training. So Izuku has 10 months to train before the entrance exam for UA High School. So Izuku starts his training. He hasn't got the One For All yet. He hasn't got that yet. So he starts his training. All Might in the 3-month mark. This is based in the 3 months mark. So All Might sends Izuku into various amounts of training. His first month, he spends an entire month in combat training, learning taekwondo, karate, martial arts, mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, Wing Chun. He's learning like 10 different fighting styles so he could get his fighting combat up to date. And then in the second month, he had so he spent that first month in training and in combat and learned the various styles of combat and everything. It even boosts his confidence. So Izuku isn't like the timid crybaby. I'm not gonna call him a crybaby, but in this kind of in this series, in this universe, in this timeline that I'm creating, that I'm writing right now, well, I'm not writing, but in this timeline, Izuku's not the timid crybaby type guy, unless it's something like that. He's more confident because he's confident in his build, he's confident in his fighting style. That was just in the first month. So in the first month, Izuku's well trained in, he didn't master them, but we'll get to that part. So in the second month, Izuku focused on strength training. So he did a lot of strength training in the gym by lifting weights, working on getting his body right, and also cleaning the beach. So he did a lot of strength training in that. So in those 2-month period, All Might looked at Izuku and seen that his rapid growth was increasing. Izuku was already at a fit enough level to inherit One For All. That's just anime genetics, put it like that. So, in the third month, Izuku focused more on cardio. He focused more on his speed. While he did all the extracurricular, I said that so wrong. Let's just put it this way. In the third month, Izuku focused on cardio while he was still doing strength training and combat training. He was also more focused on getting his speed getting his agility, getting his stamina, his endurance, all those cardio factors that would benefit him in the fight so that he could last long and dish out more energy than ever before he was working on. He was training so vigorously that he didn't fail, but he was sometimes like, just like in the anime, he would like fall asleep in class or something like that. But even with that, Izuku always managed to get good grades, to always stay at the top of his class, to manage enough good grades to bring home to his mom. So when the 3 months were up, as Izuku was doing all his schoolwork, his combat training, his strength training, his cardio training, as the 3 months was up, Izuku was at a fit enough level. His muscles, his body performance, everything was in an athletic performance for him to inherit One for All, so his body could hold it. So, All Might gives Izuku the One for All quirk. He tells him to ingest his hair and eat this. As Izuku ate One for All, not ate One for All, he ate a piece of All Might's hair and he said, give it a minute, it'll take a while. Just go home. This is your rest day. Because the next few months are going to be like hell for you. And Izuku told All Might, I'm ready for it. Whatever challenge I have to face, I just want to be a hero like you, All Might. Because Izuku looked up to ignore that. Izuku looked up to All Might. Because All Might was one of Izuku's idols. If you've seen in this series, Izuku has all posters, all action figures, everything of All Might. It's weird, but that's the kind of fanboy he is over All Might. So, yeah, put it that way. Anyway, so as Izuku is resting on his day off, the next day he takes a breather, he takes some sleep, gets some rest and everything. But the next day begins his training. And he begins training for the next, per se, 3 months. So he begins his training for the next 3 months. And in those 3 months, he was able to stockpile at least 50% in each of his limbs, not in his full body because he hasn't got to that level yet. So he could use a 50% in each of his arms and each of his legs without breaking his body. That's about as far as he could go, is 50%. As his training continued, on one day of his 3-month mark, it was like at the end of the month of his 6 months, like 6 months mark, Gran Torino came out of nowhere. He was walking from the store because he had got him some sweet tarts, and he seen All Might and Izuku training, but he seen Izuku using One for All just in one part of his body instead of in the full part of his body. So Gran Torino, he interrupted All Might and Izuku's training, and he said, hey, All Might, it's been a while. And he said, oh, Master Torino, I haven't noticed that you were in the city. I thought you were out of town. He said, no, I just stopped to get some sweet tarts. Oh, so what brings you here, Master Torino? Are you come here to see my new trainee, young Midoriya? And Gran Torino said, yeah, I'm very interested in this young lad's rapid growth. But shame on you, All Might. You haven't been teaching him well, have you? And All Might seems confused. What do you mean? I'm teaching him the best way I can. The best way that I know that his body will be able to be suitable for One for All. And in this series, Gran Torino is no stranger. All Might doesn't have to explain. He already knows the whole situation with the One for All quirk and everything, because if you remember way back, if you even watched the movie, you would notice that Gran Torino was around when All Might's master was around. So he knows about the whole One for All quirk transfer thing, and even All for One. So Gran Torino's no stranger to this stuff. So he says, look, All Might, Toshinori, let me take over for a little bit. You get a rest. And he says, okay. And Gran Torino walks over to young Midoriya, and he says to him, young lad, try focusing One for All throughout your whole body. If you can do that, I feel like you would make a more impressive growth than you are now. I feel like your growth would be exponential to what you are now. And Midoriya, he's just looking at him weird, like, how do I do that? Like, what are you talking about? It took Midoriya a while to like figure out because he was talking to himself while Gran Torino was standing there, and he like said, "Are you okay?" And he realized okay. Let's put it this way: young Izuku Midoriya, he's still like a little. I ain't saying he's that timid. He's still a little bit timid. He still does some of the weird quirks that Izuku does, like talking out loud, planning out strategies out loud, like talking to himself out loud. He still does that. And Gran Torino was looking at him like weird, like, "Are you okay, young lad?" And Izuku was shocked. He was like, "Oh, I didn't know I was talking out loud. My bad." So he said, Gran Torino said, "Okay, do it." So Izuku finally got the thought in his head: if I focus one for all, instead of trying to stockpile the power in one part of my body, let's see if I can focus it throughout my full entire body. So this is at the 6 months mark. So Izuku already mastered 50% of one for all, but he can only do that in each limb. So at the 6 months mark, let's say he's at 80%. He's at 80% in his arms. He can throw a Detroit smash, or whatever kind of smashes that All Might ends up teaching Izuku. He could use those to his advantage at 80% with no backlash, no recoil. He's trained his body enough to sustain one for all to the point he could throw those kind of smashes and that kind of energy output. So Izuku focuses. He thinks real hard. And you know how in the scene where the one for all goes like from one person to another, like it bounces across the screen and everything, like from like in this, like right here in this photo that I'm showing you right now, you see how all the users in this photo, how the one for all just goes zigzag. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It just goes through all the users like that. Izuku fantasizes that. He sees that in his head as the power is building up inside him, and he channels one for all throughout his entire body. So at this point in time, Izuku was able to withstand 50% full cowl. Any higher than that in his body would break. So he's able to train to use 80%. I know it's weird, but he was able to use 80% one for all in his arms because that's the way he's been training for the past 6 months. Now, when he finally got to the point of using one for all full cowl, he's not used to that. He can only use, let's say, 50% of one for all full cowl, and any higher than that, and his body will start to crack or break or withstand a certain amount of injuries. So put it like this, he could barely move, but he can move. So he wasn't used to the power, so he tried moving. He wasn't used to like moving fully while Gran Torino danced around him with his speed quirk, whatever that's called. Okay, I'm not going to say whatever that's called. His quirk is called Jet. So he was using his quirk to jet around Izuku Midoriya. And Izuku was losing his rhythm, losing his speed. He didn't have any kind of further training or further elaboration of how to use one for all full cowl. So as the months continue, Gran Torino spent the next 3 months training Izuku in using one for all full cowl, and to the point that Izuku was well enough used to using one for all full cowl to the point he grabbed Gran Torino and slammed him dead into the training field that they were at. Well, slammed him into the sand of the beach that they were at. Because at this point, Izuku has already cleaned up the entire beach, had it all full before his training was even finished. He finished that up all the way into the 5th month mark. So that's all over and done with. So as he eventually grabbed Gran Torino and slammed him down, it was nothing that Gran Torino could do. Gran Torino could do nothing. Like I said, Izuku is a martial artist now. He's well trained and well skilled. He's even improved his senses, his sense of smell, his sense of sight, and his sense of hearing. And there's nothing that Gran Torino do. All Izuku Midoriya had to do was think, be aware. And as Gran Torino danced around him, Gran Torino could not deflect or dodge Izuku, as every countermeasure that Gran Torino would use in his arsenal would be failed. Because as he, say for example, you know how Gran Torino danced around Izuku in that room? Okay, so this is like a more opener space. It's a beach. So as Gran Torino was dancing around Izuku. Gran Torino ended up getting caught every last time. Like every single time he got caught, he got caught. And Gran Torino smiled. He smiled with so much excitement, with so much love and glory, because like he said, this lad has the power to rapid growth. Like he has the power to grow rapidly in his training. And like he's just one of those types. And as Gran Torino sat down, he said, "Very well, you came a long way, my young lad. See, Toshinori?" And All Might was shocked. All Might said, "Oh, I didn't know that. I wish I would have thought of that sooner." He would have been, "Oh, I guess you're right, Master." All Might didn't know what to say. He didn't even think of anything to say to that point. As Izuku, this is during 9 months of his training. So he has one more month left. Izuku has like 90% of full cowl ready. So his arms he can use 100%. His arms he can use 100%, no ease. 100% no ease. But in his regular full cowl, like his full cowl ability, he can only manage 90%. So that's not a big deal, as Izuku's already a powerhouse as per se. So the next month he spent just studying, getting his grades up and everything. Eventually he got straight A's because Izuku is not dumb. He's never known to be dumb. He's smart. So he caught his grades up, caught up in his schoolwork and everything, and still dealing with the same old stuff with Bakugo. How he's telling Bakugo, "I'm going to try out for the entrance
Izuku
exam,"
jumps
and
up and
Bakugo
slams
laughs
on
and
his
says,
desk,
"An
not
idiot
noticing
punk
that he
like you
broke
could
it in
never
half with
hope
just a
to
single
be a
chop."
part of the
And he
entrance
says,
exam
"I'll show
because
you,
you don't even have a
Bakugo,
quirky,
I'll show
quirkless
you
loser."
all that I can be the
And
greatest
Izuku
hero
just,
ever.
instead
I
of
can
Izuku
be
saying,
the greatest. I can be the
"Well, I'll
next
show you.
symbol of
I'll show
peace.
you
I
my
can
quirks."
protect people. I can
He
save
said,
people. I
I'll
can
show you
be
what
a
I can
hero
do."
that never
Instead of
loses, to
Izuku
always
was
save
timid and saying
everyone,
that kind
to
of thing,
never
like,
be scared or fearful. And Izuku realized what he done, and he screams out, "Wow, I gotta pay for that! Do I really gotta pay for that?" He was starting to freak out and sweating and everything. Bakugo just instantly laughs and says, "Some looks like you've been doing some training, but training alone is not gonna help you at all." In this series, Bakugo is a lot cocky. He ignored the fact that Izuku just basically hit a desk. Izuku punched the desk and it just broke. They didn't know Izuku had that level of strength. Even Bakugo was shocked. He even said to himself, "Where did this quirkless loser get this kind of strength? He might be a problem." So the final month is over, and the UA entrance exam starts today. So as Deku's getting ready to go to the entrance exam, All Might pulls Deku aside and he talks to him and says, "Young Midoriya, I have something I want to give you. It's a bunch of my attacks that I had, and I want you to memorize them, learn them, and pick one that you think would be suitable for using during the entrance exam." So All Might hands Deku a list of certain attacks used for certain reasons. Like the New Hampshire Smash is used to propel you towards an enemy, and Deku says, "I maybe can modify that and change it into a Michigan Smash. So I might use the New Hampshire Smash like once in a while, but I could change that into a a Michigan Smash, I think." And All Might just looked at Deku and said, "Young Midoriya, are you all right?" And he realized he was talking out loud. He let out a big scream like, "Ah! I didn't realize I was talking out loud. My bad." And he says, "So, what do you think of it?" As Izuku's examining all of All Might's attacks, like the Carolina Smash, the Oklahoma Smash, the Detroit Smash, Delaware Smash, Texas Smash, California Smash, he's observing all these attacks. And he instantly says, "So what would happen if I combined a Delaware Smash and a Oklahoma Smash?" He said, "Well, you got to be cautious about that. You have to be cautious, young Midoriya, because keep in realize that both of those attacks, if you use them at 100%, they stack, and you might end up hurting yourself very bad." So like I said, Deku's mastered 90% full cowl and 100% in his arms. Now, if he stacks both of those attacks, like, say, for example, if he stack a Delaware Detroit smash on top of each other like that, he's going to break his arm because both of those attacks are 100% in power. Now, say, for example, if he uses a 50% Detroit smash and a 50% Delaware smash, it wouldn't cause that much injury to his body because, keep in mind, he can use it's 100% power. Now, if he used both of those attacks, his arm's going to break. So that's the kind of direction. Just stay tuned. That's the kind of direction we're going to go in. So the UA entrance exam starts, and all the kids are going into the, like, they're going, getting ready for the class and everything. Deku's not nervous as he was in the anime. He's not as nervous. He's very confident, walking very confidently. But he still has little nervous features. Like, he can't believe this is happening because he came so far. Like, he didn't even know how this came to be. Like, he was shocked. I mean, anybody would be in that situation. Deku didn't have a quirk. He didn't know if he would even make it to UA High School, let alone be an applicant for it, because he didn't have a quirk, so he didn't have nothing to benefit the school on how to become a hero. The most he could do was become a cop because he didn't have a quirk. But now that he does, everything's changed. So Deku is just like, is this real? Am I dreaming? He's slapping himself in the face and all that kind of stuff, but it's not a dream, it's real. So as Deku's walking, he instantly sees Bakugo, and he says, "Hey, Kachan, I'm trying out for this school too. I just applied and all kind of stuff and everything. I'm gonna do my best for the entrance exam." And Bakugo just instantly cut him off, saying, "Move or I'll set you on fire." Yeah, that's pretty brutal, right? And Deku instantly moves out the way and says, "Oh, okay." And like, he does his little arm motion thing. "Oh, hi, Kanchan. I didn't mean to do this. I didn't mean to disturb you or nothing like that." He does all of that, and now that Bakugo just walks past him. As you hear the other kids in the background saying, "Oh, that's that guy Bakugo. Yeah, I heard him. He's the real deal." So as Deku just instantly thinks in his head, well, can't expect much from him since he's always been like that. But as Deku clenches his fist, he instantly says in his head, "But I'll show you what I can do. I haven't been doing all this training for 10 months for no reason. I'll show you the power that I have in my body." And as Deku instantly says that, he walks and instantly trips over himself. Ochaku she catches Deku. And Deku doesn't know what's going on as he's wondering, like, he's trying to figure out what's going on. He's freaking out, like he's trying to wonder why he's floating and everything. And he looks to the left, like he looks to his left and sees Ochaku smiling at him, and she says, "Oh, my bad. I hope you don't mind if I caught you. I used my power to catch you, my quirk." And Deku's face instantly goes red. He doesn't say anything, and she says, "Well," she instantly grabs him and stands him up, and she says, "Well, I'll see you inside. Good luck on the entrance exam." And Deku doesn't say anything. He face just red as an apple. Red apple. And Deku instantly says in his head, "Oh my god, I just talked to a girl," and starts just blushing all over the place. And it then cuts to I would say the auditorium. Yeah, the auditorium. Let's put it like that. It cuts to the auditorium with President Mike jumping on the mic. The lights come on, and he says, "Is everybody ready? Are you ready?" And silence. Just silence. So, as that happens, you just hear the silence going on, and President Mike the big screen comes on, and he says, "For this year's exam, you will be focusing on these 3 individual robots, and they each varies from 1-pointers to 2-pointers to 3-pointers. Each of you students will be competing in trials. Well, not trials. You'll be split into different assignments, different areas, and you will have to rack up enough points so that you can be an applicant for this school, for UA High School." President Mike not President Mike, 10-year-old Ida, well, I'm going to call him Ida. Ida jumped up and said to President Mike, "Excuse me, sir. You have only explained the 3 robots here, but there are 4 robots on this spreadsheet right here. It would be a failure and a waste of our time if you won't explain all 4 of them and what they do. And Tenyo Ida then points at Deku and says, "You there, you have been mumbling. If you're not gonna take this serious, then you need to leave. Though, because you're disturbing the rest of us." And like I said, Deku is confident. Deku is not the timid kid that you've seen in the show. He's confident due to all the training that he's endured and he survived. But he tells Tenyo Ida, instead of worrying about me, try not to be a big shot like you are. Well, not like you are. It just came out of nowhere. His confidence just got the best of him. And Tenyo Ida said, "What was that?" And President Mike just said, "All right, new kid, I heard you. You can sit down." And then he explains to the class that this robot here is nothing but a stepping stone for you to get over. It's nothing major. It's just sent there to get in your way. That's all it is. That's all it's going to become. That's all it does. It's just nothing there but to get in your way. So as President Mike's ready to, done explaining everything, the UA high school entrance exam is ready to start. And as Deku's getting ready, he's doing his stretches and all that kind of stuff. He's nervous. And then the gates open. And as the gates open, every kid rushes in. They all rushes in, but Deku's just nervous. He's nervous. He doesn't know what to do. He's not racking up as much points as he thought he would. And he's hitting a few robots. He's hitting a few robots, hitting every other robot that he can counter, but he's still nervous and everything like that. You see Bakugo, you see all these other kids, they're racking up points. And as it cuts to the teachers, you see them teachers saying, one of them using combat tactics, the other is using echolocation, the other is using stealth, the other is using speed. A various amount of students are all using these tactics, and they're the ones that rack up a lot of points, while Deku is not racking up anything. I mean, he's racking up a lot of points too. Let me put it like that, because he's confident. He's going through hitting a bunch of robots, but he's not making as much progress like the others are, because there's not a lot of robots in this area. So as that happens, the robot Zero comes up and he sees Ochaku. Ochaku is in danger. It's a bunch of rubble because this big Zero robot is causing all kinds of damage. He's throwing his fist and breaking houses, breaking buildings. And Ochaku doesn't know. She's trying to run. She's trying to get out of the way as all the kids are running. You see Deku, he falls on the ground. He's nervous. This is the first time he's felt fear, because he doesn't know what to do in this situation. He's scared through his body, he's chilling, but the confidence has gotten him, because he looked. As he's crawling away, he looked behind him, and the confidence overfilled him with so much. He looks behind him, and he sees Ochaku stuck under a rock, because a rock fell on her leg, and she can't move. She can't even think right, let alone use her power. So Deku instantly runs towards a robot, and when he runs, he uses One for All full cowl, and he jumps up and he yells out, "Detroit smash," and smashes the robot. Then remember, this is One for All 100%. He's One for All 100% in his arms. So he used One for All 100% and hit the robot with all his might. The robot flew all the way. It didn't just boom, just like it did in the anime. No, it flew. This robot flew through all the buildings, and you seen a huge gust of wind just knock the buildings all back. And it was a whole bunch of 2-pointer robots in that direction. As he hit the 0-point robot, it flew all the way back, destroying all the 2-pointer robots in that direction that Deku was facing. He instantly reverted back down, dashed back, it was a rock that was in the way of the ceiling. It was a rock that was in the way of the ceiling, and he used that as a jumping stone. So he jumped down to where Ochaku was, grabbed her, and sprinted out the way of the rubble. And then the UA sports were over. The UA entrance exam was over, as all the students were shocked. Every last student there was shocked, even Bakugo. Bakugo says, "How did he do that? I thought he didn't have a quirk. How did this quirkless loser do that? Like, Bakugo was so angry. And that's where I'm gonna end this episode at. I know this is like one of those episodes, like I didn't like think about doing this, but I wanted to give you guys something because you're supporting me, so I wanted to treat you guys to a voiceover that I know you guys like. And why I chose My Hero Academia is because it's one of those animes that's top grossing. It's #1, I think, right now. Like it's getting a lot of views, and it just had this really awesome episode where Deku just mastered, well, not had infinite 100%. So I thought this show would be relevant to that, and it's fit so well. So in this series, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a series on what if Deku mastered One for All, but in the levels of sequence. So in the first series, in the first part of this, he's gonna start off at 100%, but he's gonna rapidly increase. So he's gonna go from 100% to 200% to 300% to 400% to 500% to 5 to 6, 7, 8, 1,000, or and let it all the way up until he reaches 1,000,000. And I'm gonna leap stone. So basically saying, for example, once he's at 500%, he's gonna jump from there to 10,000%, and when he's jumped from there to 100,000%, and then from there to 1,000,000%. So One for All has a lot of power stockpiled in it, the way I'm trying to take it in direction. So let me know if you want me to do a part 2, and I'll finish up on that soon. So right now I'm gonna finish up doing Dragon Ball What If Goku Was in One Piece Part 3, and I'll let you guys, that'll be out soon, I hope. But anyway, let me know if you want me to continue on this series. Until then, you guys have a nice night, a nice day, and I'll see you in the next What If series. Take care.